Good morning. We're going to go ahead and do a very quick, I only needed to show you a couple of things on this English lesson, so it's going to be very fast. Really, you could have done this lesson all by yourself, but there's one thing I wanted to go over with you right quick. So could you look in your English book on page 269? All right, so yesterday, you started revising your letter. That's where you make changes in it. I don't like this sentence. I want to move it here. I want to add this word. I want to do this. I want to add a sentence here, blah, blah, blah. That's revising. Today you're going to proofread. Now, the proofreading checklist that you need to go by is on at the bottom of page 270. I think by now you know how to proofread. This is where you check for spelling errors, capitalization errors, punctuation errors, and you fix those, okay? So I think you probably know how to proofread. There's no sense in me proofreading it for you or going through it with you because you know how to do that. All right, so look at page 269. What I wanted to show you was the envelope because you need to write your envelope to whoever you're writing it to. So when you have an envelope, now I've got two sizes of envelopes, and I don't know what you might have, but I've got these big envelopes here. They are number 10 envelopes. They're like for letters. And then there's these smaller ones, and these are number 6 3/4 envelopes. These are what I send, like my, if I have like a bill, water bill, or something I need to send. And typically when you send a letter, you want to use one of these letter size envelopes. So if you have one of those, that would work. If you don't, you can use the smaller one, but it's better to use the bigger one if you can. Now, the two parts of an envelope are the return address and the mailing address. The main thing to remember is if you're looking at your envelope, if you have it laying on your desk face up and you're looking at it, okay, then up in the left corner, the top corner, and it shows it for you there on page 269, that's the return address. That is your name and address. That's from where it is coming. That is your name and address. So you would put your name and then your address. But notice how they did that. Notice how they didn't just all write it. It's all written in a particular way. So your name first, and then under that would be, I can't remember your address. I've written it 100 times. I don't know why can't remember it. But anyway, it would be something, something, FM, something, something. And then the next line would be the city, which would be Winsboro, comma, and then the state, which is Texas, and then the zip code. Don't forget the comma between the city and the state. And then the one in the center is the mailing address. That's to whom it is going. Okay? And notice how they wrote that. They wrote it very neatly right there. You got to write it neatly so your postman can know where it's going. And then your stamp goes in the top right corner. Okay? Now, your job then, well, it says right here in the middle, there's a little tiny envelope. It says to proofread on the envelope, use proofreading marks. There's going to be 4 mistakes. So let's look in the return address. Do you see where it says Jackson Lewis, 102 Pine Street? Those are correct. But look at the city and the state. Delmar, and then DE is Delaware. And then the zip code. Okay, there's 2 mistakes there. Add a comma between Delmar and Delaware. Delaware, DE is the abbreviation for Delaware. So add a comma between the city and the state, Delmar, Delaware. And then the E in Delaware should be uppercase. Both letters should be uppercase, DE. So put 3 lines under the E. And then let's look at the mailing address, the one to whom it is going. Mr. David Grayson, that's correct. Eastview Science Center, error. Science should be uppercase because the name of the place is Eastview Science Center. So all the letters in that name should be uppercase. One more error. 8308 Laurel Court. CT is an abbreviation for the word court. What needs to go after that abbreviation? A period. So add a period after that. And then if you'll notice Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson has a comma after it, and that's correct. Mississippi has uppercase letters. That's correct. Now, you can practice on that bottom envelope right there. You practice writing your address and then who you're sending your letter to on those lines. Practice getting it just right, okay? Now, I don't know if I'm going to get to see it. I know that your Nana can look at that and she can tell whether you wrote that correctly or not. It's kind of like a rough draft for the envelope that you're going to write and use, okay? So practice writing your envelope and then go through and proofread your letter. Make sure there's no errors in it. All right? All right, and that will be all for today.